Hello, I'm Nick Clarke. I'm the Senior Partner and Head of Dispute Resolution here at Aaron & Partners. Today I'm going to be answering 5 common questions about limitation of liability in the warehousing sector. When you enter into a contract with someone, the contract will place obligations on you, and if you breach those obligations, that gives rise to what we call a liability in this context. It's a liability to compensate the other party for your breach. And so a limitation of liability is a clause that you put into the contract that seeks to limit that liability for breach of your obligations. So the first thing that you have to ensure happens is that you have to have a clearly drafted limitation of liability clause that is incorporated into your contract with your customer. If you get to a situation where there is a liability, what will then happen is that you will seek to rely on that limitation and say that your liability is capped at whatever the clause provides for. Whenever you enter into a contract with someone, you can negotiate a limitation of liability, but it's important to realise that there are some things that you can't exclude. So you can't exclude liability for death or personal injury, and usually you can't exclude liability for fraud either. No, they're not. There are 2 main situations where they might not be enforceable. One is where the clause containing the limitation actually isn't incorporated into the contract, and the other is where the court looks at it and decides that it shouldn't be enforced, either because it doesn't cover the particular type of loss that the situation that you have gives rise to, or because under something called the Unfair Contract Terms Act, it's regarded as unreasonable. Yeah, absolutely, they are. They are really quite vital in any commercial contract, because what you don't want to have is unlimited liability, which is what you would have if you didn't have an effective and enforceable limitation of liability clause in your contract.